Straight ahead on 12 News, snacks under scrutiny. What has changed at local schools? Then budget battles begin. Local cities take on the line-by-line task of sorting out spending. But first, words of advice following yet another data breach investigation. 12 News starts right now. Hello and thanks for joining us. Less than a year after a massive data breach at Target, consumers now have another reason to check their bank statements.
Experts say a possibly even bigger data breach has impacted Home Depot. Delane Cleveland joins us now with more on that. Delane?
Mike and Alex, the Home Depot hasn't officially confirmed a breach has occurred, but computer security experts believe Russian hackers stole as many as 5,000 Minnesota credit card numbers used at Home Depot.
Well, the retailers are certainly at a disadvantage. In order to protect an organization, security teams need to find, tens of thousands of entry points. A hacker only needs to find one that's not properly guarded.
Mark Lanterman with Computer Forensic Services in Minnetonka pulled up the underground website that he says Eastern European hackers used for Target's data breach. He showed us that credit cards used at Home Depot stores are already on the market, selling for as little as $8. Home Depot issued a statement today that they're working with their banking partners and law enforcement to investigate. Meanwhile, experts with the Better Business Bureau urge people not to panic.
Obviously, this is getting to be a more common thing. Companies are going to have responses in place. They're going to communicate effectively with the public. So first, don't panic. Second, from there, whatever retailer it is that has a problem, watch their website, go directly to their website, see what they're telling people. And you may want to reach out to your bank or credit card provider.
Well, other than paying with cash and checking your bank statements regularly, one other way to protect yourself is to purchase a reloadable credit card that works like a gift card and use that to do your shopping. Mike and Alex?
All right, Delane, thank you. Brooklyn Park City Council members have begun tackling next year's budget.
And there's already concern a proposed increase is too much.
The way I view our budget is, I think it's time for a rest. Let's find a year here where we don't increase the budget.
The council set the preliminary general fund budget at $44.4 million. That's an increase of 4% from the 2014 budget of $42.7 million. The preliminary property tax levy is a 4.9% increase, which would cost the average homeowner about $6 more per month. Now, 75% of the budget is tied up in personnel costs, salaries, and benefits. The council will now look at individual department budgets to see if there are ways to trim it down.
For me, there is no sacred cow. We have to take a look so the slope of increase is manageable for people who live in their homes every day, myself included.
Councilmember Trepanier said the preliminary budget and levy is almost always higher than before the final version is approved in December.
Meanwhile, an area that Brooklyn Park sees as a prime site for retail growth is now considered off limits for places of worship. City Council approved new zoning restrictions to its town center retail area in the northern part of the city. The city had placed a one-year moratorium on new religious institutions in commercial areas so the city could study the best ways to guide development and enhance its tax base. The city wanted to be careful because of a current lawsuit in St. Anthony where a mosque was denied.
Crystal Council members agree their public works building is in rough shape. What they don't agree on is how to pay for a new one. On Tuesday night, by a 4-3 vote, the City Council approved a contract to begin construction on a new $13 million public works building. It would be built at the intersection of Corvallis and West Broadway. The main sticking point, though, is whether to pay for it through bonds, cash reserves, or a combination of both. Some council members expressed frustration when they thought they reached a compromise at an earlier meeting, only to have the debate start all over again.
I guess it shows where our council is at, that we can't work together, we can't even agree to disagree. We kind of say, let's do it this way, and when we get in the public, then we'll go forward with it.
This is not a surprise tactic by any means, Mark. I'm sorry. I just really wanted to have a clear understanding how we got to that compromise.
Councilmember Laura Libby expressed concern paying all cash up front could mean tax increases or decreases in services. The Crystal City Council is expected to decide the payment method at a meeting on December 2nd. This school year, all food sold during the day will have to meet new nutritional requirements.
Schools are trying to follow the new Smart Snacks rule. And Sonia Goins explains how West Middle School in the Wayzata district is adapting to the changes.
These students are eager to eat their school lunch.
I usually will get maybe a pretzel or like a peanut butter crispy or maybe an ice cream.
I like to eat Cheez-Its and I like to eat Frito-Lays. They're super good.
Matthew and the other students will notice some different items on the a la carte menu.
We encourage them to eat as many fruits and vegetables as they want.
West Middle School is serving up healthier snacks and cutting back on junk food.
We can still do, a lot of the crackers and popcorn and things like that. The crackers are just now whole grain.
Under federal guidelines, snack items have to be less than 200 calories.
Whole grain, low fat.
There's a little more wiggle room for entree items. They can't be over 350 calories.
Still have some ice cream products that, we found because we know kids like their ice cream.
But just because food is low in calories doesn't mean it has to be boring. Cookies are still on the menu.
They're made with reduced sugar with applesauce, different ways to cut the fat.
And serving sizes are smaller to limit calories.
That just kind of makes it a little bit different. It kind of changes your opinion on what you think you should get.
Snacks also have to contain less than 230 milligrams of sodium.
We're always looking for lower sodium items, though, as the sodium requirements get stricter and stricter over the years.
Students are encouraged to take no more than 3 items from the a la carte menu.
I like dried fruit. It's very good.
The Smart Snack program was implemented to cut down on childhood obesity. In Minnesota, 27% of children are overweight.
As they grow older, they'll continue those healthy habits, and hopefully, the obesity percentage could decrease.
8th grader Luke Saunders says he's already on board with the eating healthy plan.
Our family is pretty healthy and we usually watch our calories. I usually have a salad as my lunch.
In Wayzata, Sonia Goins, 12 News.
There are also limits on the amount of sugar and fats, and except for water, all beverages have to be less than 12 ounces and contain no caffeine. Well, coming up, a way to save money that's also friendlier to the environment.
And then a little bit later in sports, it's a top 10 matchup in volleyball as Hopkins hosts Chaska.
But first, much cooler weather on Friday, highs in the low 70s.
Hennepin County residents produce more than 1 million tons of trash every year. That's enough to fill Target Field 11 times.
And to cut down on trash, Hennepin County has a new coupon book out for the fall. And as Shannon Slatton reports, using those coupons just may also save you money.
Toner and ink cartridges have a second life at Cartridge World in Maple Grove.
Any printer that you use in your home or office, we can provide a cartridge for it that is recycled, remanufactured, and in doing that we save people usually 30 to 40% off of the cost of buying a new one.
90% of the cartridges here are reused. Bring your old cartridge in and you can immediately buy a refilled and tested cartridge.
First of all, you save money doing it. Secondly, you can really save a lot of waste going into landfills.
Cartridge World is one of more than 40 businesses included in this year's Choose to Reuse coupon book. The point of the book is not only to encourage business, but to encourage more people to think about reducing, reusing, and recycling.
Reducing and reusing is the best way to manage that waste. We want people to recycle, that's great, but really the best way to manage it is to reduce it in the first place and look for reuse opportunities.
Hennepin County releases the books for the back-to-school shopping season and hopes a coupon can introduce people to a new environmentally friendly retailer.
There's lots of different reasons why people might choose to reuse, and we're just hoping that they use these coupons as a place to start.
There's a coupon for everything from secondhand stores to sustainable products.
You think, oh, I never really thought about refilling ink cartridges. And it's a way to kind of encourage people to think beyond just maybe the one reuse opportunity that they're using.
In Maple Grove, Shannon Slatton, 12 News.
You can pick up the booklets at Hennepin County libraries and service centers. Coming up, why the State Fair is still fresh in the minds of some Maple Grove students.
But first, Osseo battles Champlin Park in boys soccer. John Jacobson is in next with sports.
Well, we start with volleyball and a West Metro team that looks like they're going to be tough to beat, huh?
There's some very good volleyball around the metro area. Yeah, Hopkins found it tough going Tuesday night. Though neither Hopkins nor Chaska reached the state volleyball tournament a year ago, both could make it this year. Chaska is ranked third right now in Class 3A. Hopkins is rated fourth. And these two met up at the Lindbergh Center. The Hawks in white. Game one is all Chaska. Lauren Nordville with the kill. The Hawks win the set 25-9. Game two is closer, though. The short set to Ruby Moreland for the Hopkins kill. Then the block by Audrey Erickson for the Royals ties it up at 10. But Chaska goes on a run. Aaron Schindler with the kill, and the Hawks take the set 25-17. Game three is a seesaw battle. Sarah Kelly with the kill on the slide play for Chaska. Jasmine Martin answers for the Royals with a kill deep in the corner and a 19-18 Hopkins lead. Back and forth it goes. Martin's kill gives Hopkins the game point, possibly at 24-23, but the Royals can close it out, and Chaska eventually takes the set 30-28. Kelly with the kill here. The Hawks win the match 3-0. Two of the better volleyball teams in the Northwest Suburban Conference met as Champlin Park hosted Andover. Off the Andover serve, Champlin Park goes on the attack. Sydney Hilly sets up Janae Alderson for the kill. The Rebels take a 25-18 win on the first set. The set two, the Rebels serve, and the Huskies overpass is tipped to the outside for a point by Maria Claflin. Champlin Park takes it 25-20, and they go up 2-0. But Andover is not done yet. They get a Taylor finish for the kill. The Huskies lead 18-12 on their way to a 25-16 win in the third. And they keep it up in the fourth set. Good effort to get the ball outside to Ellie Hagstrom. And she goes down the line to the deep corner. Andover wins 25-16 to force a fifth set. And after trailing 13-11, Champlin Park wins it in style. Alderson hammering it home. Champlin Park pulls it out 15-13, and they take a tough five-set win over the Huskies. After finishing under 500 last season, both the Osseo and Champlin Park boys soccer teams are hoping for a move up in the Northwest Suburban Conference standings this year. Those two teams met last night. The Orioles looking for their first win of the season, but it's Champlin Park scoring first. Mike Baez crossing pass deflected to Dylan Burchell, and he scores 1-0 early in the first half. Osseo comes right back. Gabe Gallamy, nice through ball to Kapow. 2 finds the back of the Rebels' net. His goal ties it at 1. Later, it's Gallamy with a nice pass out of traffic to an open Benji Amaya, and he scores the Orioles' second goal, and it's 2-1 Osseo. They get one more before halftime. Davin Benson with a header. Gallamy controls it on the ground. The senior scores give Osseo a 3-1 lead at the half. They get 2 more goals in the second half, including one from Isaac Pay here from 33 yards out. The Orioles win 5-1. They are now 1-1 on the season. Champlin Park's girls beat Osseo 7-1. Cooper's boys soccer team averaged 5 goals in 2 season opening wins. The Hawks look to keep it going as they played host to a former North Suburban Conference rival in Fridley. Cooper in white. Eddie Ugamba fires. It stopped, but deflects off of Lorenzo Banks and in for a goal just 2:35 into the match. Andrew Fitzsimmons makes it 2-0, burying a penalty kick, and the Hawks are in command. Later in the first half, a long free kick by Sam Boku leads to a ball that's volleyed off the crossbar. Alex Daw is there, and it's all Cooper. They take a 3-0 lead at halftime. Leading 4-0. Cullen Varhall gets a return pass from Baku and drills a well-placed shot into the top corner. Cooper's now 3-0 on the season after a 5-1 win. In prep tennis, Maple Grove hosted Anoka. 1 singles, Hayden Andre on the near court for Anoka. Rachel Ellingson from Maple Grove. Ellingson with the winner. 1 doubles, Caleb Berry serving for Maple Grove. Sets up a cross-court winner for her on the forehand. Anoka serving now, and Berry's return sets up Sam Welch for the volley winner. The Crimson duo take their match at 1 doubles. At number 2 singles, Peyton Ordner serving for the Crimson. Her backhand drop shot, good for a point. 2 doubles play, Allie Schmidt and Zoe Lynn in the far court for Maple Grove. Lynn gets the overhead winner. Later in that match, Schmidt will be at the net, and she'll attack here with a forehand volley winner. Schmidt and Lynn take their match 6-3, 6-1, and the Crimson win over Anoka 6-1. And let's look at sports for today.
All right, thanks a lot, John. In the next few weeks, we will hear from candidates running for City Council, School Board, and the state legislature.
And we begin with two candidates for Hennepin County Sheriff. Rich Stanek was first elected to that job in 2006. His challenger, Eddie Frizzell, is a deputy police chief for Minneapolis.
My name is Eddie Frizzell. As a candidate for Hennepin County Sheriff, I ask you to join in supporting me. I have over 21 years of law enforcement experience and currently hold the rank of Deputy Chief of Patrol for the largest police department in the state. In addition, I have served in the Minnesota Army National Guard for over 25 years with the current rank of Colonel. For many years, the residents of Hennepin County did not have a choice in this critical race. I am running to bring the focus of the Sheriff's Office back to the local level. Administrative costs are up. Department morale is down. I was endorsed by 87.5% of the Hennepin County Sheriff's Deputies Association. With my leadership, we will turn the department around and bring the focus back to our highways, communities, parks, and lakes. Thank you for your support.
Hi, I'm Sheriff Rich Stanek. When I was first elected in 2006, I promised to bring the resources of the Sheriff's Office to the fight against violent crime, and I've kept my promise. Working together with our police department partners, I'm proud to report that violent crime in Hennepin County has dropped 36%. And as your sheriff, I have worked to keep our families safe by conducting warrant sweeps, collecting unwanted prescription drugs, alerting residents to the growing heroin epidemic, and combating human sex trafficking. At the Sheriff's Office, we continually engage diverse communities. The Sheriff's Community Engagement Team, Citizens Academies, and Community Advisory Board have advanced the agency's visibility, transparency, and accountability. I'm proud to serve as the Sheriff of Hennepin County, and I ask for your vote on November 4th so that we can continue this important work.
And we'll be right back.
And finally, some students from Maple Grove High School earned bragging rights at this year's state fair.
They're all members of Maple Grove's robotics team, and they call it a varsity sport for the mind. Maple Grove team built a 4-foot-tall robot that can grab a ball and toss it into a goal. It even plays catch with humans. The longer the shot, the more points they earn. They came in second out of 28 teams. That's right behind Irondale, which is considered one of the powerhouse robotic teams in the state. So some bragging rights. I have a little plaque to take home. And good work, too.
Yeah, and a pretty good ball player, it looks like, right?
Yeah, that's right. That'll do it. That's it for now. Thanks for joining us, everyone.
We'll see you back here at 4. Community Corner is coming up next.